Sairam. You're listening to Sai SOUL 100, a weekly podcast series with soul, or stories of unconditional love, shared by devotees of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba in celebration of his 100th birthday. We invite you to listen in on these motivational stories of his constant loving presence in devotees' lives, offered at his lotus feet by the Sri Satya Sai International Organization USA, Mid-Atlantic region. Welcome to Sai SOUL 100.
Sairam, dear listeners, welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Our guest today is Dr. Venkat Iyer, who is joining us from Virginia Beach, Virginia. He'll be sharing his story of Swami's unconditional love. Sairam, Brother Venkat, welcome to Sai SOUL 100.
Thank you, Sister Prabha, for providing this opportunity to share some of my experiences. First of all, I'm grateful that I was born in the Sai family. My parents themselves were Sai devotees. And when I was just graduating or written my 10th grade, suddenly my father passed away. And that was a big shock in our family because he was not only the only breadwinner, my mother was a homemaker. And but he was also a lead figure in our extended family. Everyone will look up to him and seek his guidance. So that was a big shock. And till 10th grade, I had graduated my 10th with just a mere first class. But in my 11th and 12th, again, I can see the Swami's divine hand there. He just pulled me into complete focus in my studies during my 11th and 12th, what used to be called +2 in India. And I was able to get into IIT. And that itself shows that Swami's unconditional love, because my mother had been praying intensely to Swami to bring me up in a proper fashion because she was completely devastated. And I have 3 sisters and they were all married at that time. And I was the only one, and she wasn't sure how I was going to come up in life. And Swami took care of me at that stage. And I came to IIT Madras, and that also because she didn't want me to go anywhere far. And I happened to get into Madras IIT. And I was doing my bachelor's, and I was just going to graduate. And most of the graduates from IIT, they try to go abroad for further studies. And I made up my mind that I was not going to go abroad. I was going to be with my mom. I was going to get a job and work and then earn and support the family. That was my thought process at that time. But Swami had different plans. And he made sure that I wrote the necessary examination for postgraduate, but I did not prepare well for that exam at all. I was just barely clearing it. I just took it because as a remote possibility of taking a graduate program. But then Swami knew different things. He had planned, he wanted me to do a graduate program. So that was the only choice because I couldn't get any job there. And I took up my master's and finished my master's, and then at this time I was sure I was going to take up a job. I went to work in Mysore, and there the job was not in tune with my studies, with my qualifications and all that. So I decided to come back to IIT to do my PhD. By that time, my experience in my master's thesis was very strong. I liked it so much that I wanted to pursue in the same area. So I came to do my PhD, and myself and my sister's husband, brother-in-law, we both, at the same time, we had the thought that we have to go to Puttaparthi. And till then, I had seen Swami when he visited Chennai, but I had not been to Puttaparthi. That was in the year 1988. And I was completely taken by the discipline, the love, and the white and whites, and it was just amazing. Just outside the Prashanti Nilayam, there was total chaos, and inside you see total peace. And that moved me so much. And I decided that I have to become part of this center. And one day I was driving my scooter with my sister behind, and then going in the market. And there they used to have what is called sales on wheels at the center, by Sai Center, where they keep all the Swami's books and cassettes and all that, and they used to sell. And I just picked a book, and then the unit convener there asked me to attend a meeting for volunteering for service opportunity. So I took that up. I went, and then they said that they needed tutors for high school students. I volunteered, and 1 year, every Sunday, I was rain or shine, I used to go. Why I'm saying that is, if you do Swami's work, he's there to guide. So that in 1989, when Swami visited Chennai, we got the opportunity to volunteer on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And suddenly Swami asked us to sit in rows, and then gave the Pada Namaskar. So if we do the service, if we do Swami's work intently in accordance with what he expects each one of us to do, he will take care, and he will bless us, and he will acknowledge that we are going in the right direction.
And this happened during when you were doing your PhD?
Yes, that was in 1989 when Swami visited. Then I continued, and then became very active, started playing active part in the Samiti in that place is called Nanganallur in Chennai. Till then, I was very hesitant to sing in public. I was very timid, basically. So then slowly I started singing, and then everybody liked it. And then before I knew it, I became the devotion coordinator there in that center. And I didn't want to lose the service opportunity. Always I was there. And of course, I visited Puttaparthi many times after that during my PhD program. And the main thing where I could see Swami's hand is when I was about to finish my PhD program. I was not worried much about what next. So I was thinking that some teaching faculty position, or some job in the R&D labs, or somewhere I should be able to get in. But I was very confident that Swami is there. Swami is going to take care. So that was there. And maybe at that time I was married also. My wife was there, and maybe she and my mother might have been worried a little bit, but I was not. I had that complete faith. So one day, a professor from Canada comes, and he comes looking for another professor at IIT Madras, whom he knew, Professor Roshan. And Professor Roshan had already gone to the United States, so he was not available. So he comes to my thesis advisor, who is Professor Prabhakar, and he says that he's setting up a center in his university, which is Ryerson Polytechnic University in Canada. And he's looking for postdoctoral fellows to help him in his research. And he kind of did some kind of interview and all that. And at the end, before he left, he said he liked me and would like to hire me.
So this is you being hired to go from IIT Madras all the way to Canada? As a
postdoctoral fellow. So that was completely out of the blue, because I was not looking forward. I didn't even think that I should do a postdoctoral fellow at that time. I was only thinking of the only options that I was considering was either a job as a teaching position somewhere, or an R&D. So IIT Madras had contacts with the other industries, other companies. In fact, a person from another company was also doing PhD at that time. So there was a possibility that I could join him in his company as an R&D position. But those were the only options that I was thinking. And then Swami, through his usual way of being unexpected. So he comes and then he pulls you out because Swami has other plans.
At that time, did you recognize it was Swami's hands at play?
At that time, it was Swami taking care, but you don't see the hand until you come farther apart. And then you see that. So at that time, you are just engrossed, you're myopic. So you don't see the grand picture. So you just, because everything is new. So I knew that Swami is putting me somewhere, but I didn't know the implications of a postdoctoral fellow, what is involved, what is Canada, how Canada is going to be. All those things are new to me, whether it's going to be in the right direction. Of course, I knew that Swami will put me in the right direction, but then all these things are in the back of your mind. So you don't really see the significance of the hidden hand till you come a little farther. So I ended up there in Canada, and then I was actively doing postdoctoral research. But then I missed all the Sai activities. I knew before I went to Canada, I went for Shivaratri. I went to Puttaparthi, and I was there. And then I could see a lot of Canadian scarf holders walking in the mandir and all that. So I was thinking that there must be a lot of centers in Canada, but I didn't know how to find where is the center. How do I find the center? So I was longing for all the Sai activities when I came to Canada. And I came in April 94. Yeah, April 94. And it was turning summer, and I couldn't find, and I was just walking one day and pining for some Sai activity. Please, Swami, please show me some sign of where a center is. And then the thought immediately came to go and look at the phone book. So till then, that thought didn't occur to me. So then immediately I came home, looked at the phone book. In those days, we used to have a phone book that had all the phone numbers. So I located, there were two numbers for Sai, and I called, and then immediately I said that they said that there was a program on Thursday evenings and Sundays. So then I became a very active participant in the Sai Center activities in Canada. But of course, I had to take the metro or sub to go to the center. And when it was peak winter, it was very difficult. I was so fortunate. See, Swami puts you, when you want to attend or do Swami's work, Swami puts you in contact with the relevant person. In the same building that I was living in, there was another Sai devotee, another Venkat, is well-known these days, and Dr. Venkat Sadanan. He was doing his medicine at University of Toronto, and he was living in the same building as where I was living. And he was so kind enough to take us to the Sai program. Whenever he was down and whenever he was available, he was able to go. It was so wonderful. And then a colleague at IIT who was on the verge of finishing PhD suddenly calls me one day and says, there is a opening here in US. Would you like to come? I knew that that organization was connected with NASA. So there was an opportunity, and I thought that, okay, Swami wants me to go here.
This is your current location where you are right now.
Correct. Came here. And this time I located where the center was, all from there itself to find out when the programs are. So I was so fortunate to become part of the Sai Center. And ever since, I've been very actively working in and doing Swami's work. And he's been taking care of me throughout, not just me, I mean, me and my family throughout. There are so many instances of where I can recall his hand. In fact, the current position that I am holding at NASA is completely because of him. So this particular opening out, the task was done by another person who decided to leave. So they were thinking that they should hire somebody else for this position. So I was there, and they wanted me to learn all the things that this person was doing so that I can transfer that to the new upcoming person, because it could take time to hire somebody for that position. So I was put in that, but then that area and the skills that were required were completely what I had. So it matched so well that uh, I was able to fit in. So there was no need to hire anybody. So I just fitted in. So it was again Swami who has done that, because otherwise I might not have been able to work in this NASA position.
It seems like Swami knows where you should be and what your skill sets are more than you. So he's guiding you towards until you get to that position where that best suits you.
Exactly. If I look back on my life, that's why I said initially that we are myopic, because we don't realize, we don't see the hidden hand. That hidden hand is always there. So I always consider this analogy of a toddler. We are all toddlers, and a mother is always there. She walks behind the toddler, because when she goes in front, the toddler is going to immediately raise its hand and wants to cling on to the mother. And the mother knows that the toddler has to walk. The two reasons why the mother will pick: either that when the child is about to fall down, the mother is going to pick up, or when the child is tired and raises its hands, that's again the mother is going to pick up. And also when the child is walking, it doesn't know that it is learning to walk. It is just attracted by whatever it thinks, whatever it sees. It can see the toy, it can see the things that it's attracted to, it's walking towards that. So we are all toddlers. So, and Sai, whose love is like equivalent to 1,000 mothers, is there with his hidden hand behind, ever ready to pick you up and always prodding you when you are about to stumble. He's readily available to prod you and push you in the right direction, but he doesn't want to pick you up because he knows that we have to walk. The whole purpose of this, my sharing, is to enable us to see the hidden hand every second of our lives. And once we see the hidden hand, we are not going to have any more worries. So we are always going to be peaceful.
Yes. Thank you, Brother Venkat, for sharing your stories of Swami and his hidden hands in your life. Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for joining Sai Soul 100 with Dr. Venkat Iyer. I am Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.